Hello, welcome to AU Radio. We're a small podcast network hosted out of Adventures Underground, a friendly local neighborhood game store based in Richland, Washington. Thanks for tuning in today. Our podcast features 3 shows every month. You can find out more about them on our About page, or check out our link tree to learn more about us and Adventures Underground. Make sure to like, subscribe, maybe click that notification bell, and we'll move right along onto today's episode.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of Game Cabinet. This week, we're reaching in and we're grabbing Subterra.
Bum, bum, bum.
This was one of those games that slid like under my radar, and I was so sad about.
Is the theme in Adventure Underground?
What?
What?
Yes.
It
yes,
is.
it is.
Amazing.
I was reading through the rules and they were like, the way that you decide who goes first is like, you can either like roll for it or you can just pick whoever was underground last. And I was like, but we're all underground.
Literally right now.
Because we're in Adventures Underground.
Oh, that makes it really hard. I guess when I play this game with my friends after I pick it up, that I'll pretty much always get to go first.
Yeah.
then.
You will.
Yeah,
Like,
You will.
100%. I mean, it's not like truly underground because we're actually like far above ground right now, but
It doesn't say truly underground. It just says underground.
It just says
And we
underground.
are in Adventures
underground.
Underground.
well, you know what? I also tend to play with the people in my house the most, and I was the last one in the crawl space.
There
I
you
count
go.
that as underground.
Yeah, for sure.
Fair
But
and reasonable.
what makes me laugh the most about this is I really liked this game. I wasn't expecting to dislike it, but I didn't know if it would be my jam. I really liked this game.
This game
It
was so
really fun.
much fun.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it makes me laugh because all I can think of is it's the worst movie ever's, but it's the best board game. There's a movie that
Yeah.
is called Descent.
There
that
is.
is exactly this game, and it is hot dog water. Hot dog water. It is awful. It is super, super bad. Like, before I liked horror movies, I didn't find it to be a scary horror movie. Like, when horror movies really still messed with me, I watched this movie and was like, this is dumb. Why would they do this? And then they made a board game out of it, and it's so much better. Like, how it came out as a bad movie, but a wonderful board game, I don't know.
I was going to say, like, I'm very new to what board games exist and whatnot. This was definitely one of, like, the first ones we've played that I've been like, I gotta buy more board games.
Right?
Like, this one was so... And I bought the second one, which Subterra 2. Very fun. We can talk about that more later, because it's
Yeah.
a different game.
And we should.
Really?
Yeah,
we should.
dope.
Yeah. I brought out the rule book just in case, because
Very
it's much
nice.
different. But
Really?
it was good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited because it's volcano themed, but it's actually different. I'm
Yeah, so...
a little surprised.
Well,
on
we
that
could talk
one.
about the first game first, and then maybe go into it, just so it's a little easier.
Fine.
But
Don't
everybody
put the
gets
cart before the horse.
everybody gets a class card at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think we did a nice. George over here had cultivated a nice selection of ones that should synergize well together, and they did. We technically won.
Technically. yes.
technically.
Yeah,
we
Barely.
won.
Yeah.
Chrissy and I lived.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
guys died.
We died. Yeah.
That's all right.
But 2 of us
It was
lived,
fine.
and so it was technically a win.
We got a bronze medal.
Yeah.
I'll take a bronze.
I'll take a bronze over
nothing.
I have yet to win this game since playing it, so...
Well, we did kind of also truncate the game because you're supposed to go through all of the tiles, and we were
that's
running out of
true.
time, and so we're like, let's just go to the end. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think, because if we had stuck with all 60 tiles that we were supposed to play, we would have run out of cards. All of our flashlights would have gone dead before we got to the end.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that we wouldn't have won.
Sure.
So with that, a little bit of the strat that one we forgot about exhausting, which
Oh.
would have helped a lot
Yeah, I
because there
mean-
were still so many tiles left. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to
Exerting?
like,
Out of
Yeah, exerting.
Exerting.
I had the most
But
health
yeah.
out of everybody and died before we ever realized that we could exert.
Yeah.
So
and so that's like that would have helped way more because there were so many tiles still left,
So the way that the game
even at their approach.
the
tower.
way the game functions is you have a stack of tiles, and I think there's 60 tiles in the stack or something like that.
60, 64 or something like that. Yeah.
The tile that you're trying to get is the exit to the cave, and you mix that into the bottom 5 tiles of the stack. So you don't get to do that until you've gone through 58, 59 tiles. Like, there's a lot to do. And so every round you have the option to, like, reveal a new tile, or there's other actions you can do. There's a whole bunch of other actions, but reveal a new tile, move on to the new tile. And so if you don't do that literally every single round, you just don't go through the tiles fast enough. And you're also, every turn, you're flipping over encounter cards or
Hazard cards.
Hazard cards.
hazards,
I just keep thinking of them as encounters.
kind of.
You encounter a trimmer. And once you're done with those cards at the bottom of that deck, your flashlights go out.
Yeah, and then you have to roll at the start of every one of your turns, or you just
Die.
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
you have to
just-
roll a 4 or higher on a 6-sided die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. I can see why you haven't won a game since. Like, I feel like this is one of those games that is kind of frustrating as far as it's hard to win.
What's the limit on how many people can play?
So
6?
we were actually just talking to a customer about this yesterday. It's 6, but if you have an expansion, there's 7, but there are a bunch of extra characters that we couldn't exactly discern if you could add more just arbitrarily on top or if there was just other options. So at least 7 with that one with expansions, maybe more.
Maybe more.
Okay.
We need to do more
Okay.
research for the
I
research
could see
is
this game
necessary.
being so much fun with like a lot of people.
A lot
Yeah,
of people,
for sure.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of people it would be much more winnable because
Yes.
Well, what's cool about it too is you can also play by yourself.
you can play solo.
Yeah.
I like the option to grab multiple character cards to play. I
think
think
that's cool.
that's a really fun. So you have character cards, and there's a lot of character cards.
Mhm.
Usually, if you're playing with a group of like 2 or more, or not 2 or more, like 3 to 4, you all get 1 character card. But if you're playing solo or just with 2 people, you can take multiples.
Yeah, for 2, I think they suggest 2 apiece, and then for 1, they are just like play 4 characters.
Yeah, I was watching a video again today that was reiterating that you need 4 characters on the board minimum because if not, then you're at a serious disadvantage
Yeah.
and you're probably going to
I
die.
feel like if you were
Yeah.
playing with 3, that everybody should still grab 2
Yeah,
and just have
absolutely.
all 6 characters out on
Yeah,
the board.
that
That's
wouldn't be a bad way
For
to
sure.
go.
That is how we ended up playing this Subterra 2 at
Yeah.
home. Was me, my boyfriend, and his brother each played 2 characters, I think.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it ended up working out. We still did not win.
No. Well, and you can also up the difficulty on it by taking cards out of the encounter deck.
And I meant to look up what those did.
It basically
It was more tremors and things
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Like it's just more of those
But
cards.
also-
because you
Okay,
have more
because I know they
people.
said like ×2, so I figured maybe they just did like they affected multiple.
well,
places.
it also takes more cards out of the deck the higher difficulty you get. So your deck is smaller, which means you have less time.
Light. Is that less
less light to
flashlight?
get through, kind of thing.
But
So ooh.
the only aspect, the tile laying aspect is so similar to Betrayal,
It's so similar to Betrayal.
but I really like how their tiles are split up enough that we ran into 3 dead ends like right off the bat and then didn't run into any more. So
Yeah.
we closed off like all but one route essentially and then was like, all right, I guess we're all exploring this way now. But I still really enjoyed that it kind of forced us all to go that way for a while.
I also really like that they have the ability that you had in the game where you could just blow a hole in a wall.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like if you came across a dead end and you're like, no, I want to go this way, you could just blow a hole in the wall.
Yeah, and just keep going.
Indeed.
I also don't think we've mentioned the horrors yet.
No, not yet.
No, I was just getting to those
Yeah.
guys. I was like, oh, we should probably mention tile placement.
Screw
and then
the
get to-
horrors. I'm just
Yeah,
saying it.
And then there's horror tiles.
I never want to play anything but my scout card ever again because I just get to avoid horrors completely as a scout.
That is
Essentially,
really
one
nice.
of your hazards is horrors, and these horrors show up wherever you have a horror tile. You can only place up to 3
at a time. Yeah.
at a time onto the board, and then they spawn closest to the whatever is the closest players, essentially,
Mhm.
one
Yeah.
per node. So you don't end up with 3 on one node coming after one
Right.
person.
Yeah.
You got to spread it out. The only way to take care of them is to either be the bodyguard, which I think you were.
Yeah,
with.
I was the bodyguard. It just basically means on an adjacent tile, I can just remove it.
Yeah, you can just reach over and club it to death,
Basically.
which is awesome. And then the other way is if everybody hides and they don't register or runs. I guess there was some point where I think you just ran, didn't you, to get out of the way?
I think so, yeah.
Where it was like, oh, if I literally run these 2, that puts me 8 away.
Yeah, because you have to be there has to be a player that they can sense within 7 tiles of them
Yeah.
for them to stay on the board. And
Correct.
if there's not, then they just vanish.
Yeah, and so that was I thought that was kind of a cool one where they just kind of were like, oh, well, there's no food here. We're going to keep moving on. But that's where that real Descent flavor comes in. And they're just as useless as the Descent monsters.
It is cool though because there is an add-on you can buy that actually has the meeples, like the little minis
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
horrors.
We have those downstairs.
I
and
know.
I want to buy a pack and paint them.
So
yeah,
just
expensive
a quick
They're so expensive.
PSA for any listeners that are active customers of the store. And you know what? I'm going to take a moment to just explain the background situation of Subterra right now, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Subterra, unfortunately, has run into a situation where it got into a bit of hot water with the Kickstarter for Subterra 2 and with respect, and I don't know the whole situation, the person who ran the Kickstarter, the creator of the game, got a lot of people mad at him for how he handled the Kickstarter.
Oh.
Somebody flubbed up their Kickstarter.
This is word of mouth for the record, but there is a solid chance that the print run of Subterra that is out right now is possibly the last print run
No
of Subterra.
way. That's lame.
Yeah.
Unless one of our distributors that we order from Canada actually pays for an entire print run on their own at some point in the future, it may never see another print
Oh my
again.
God.
So what I'm hearing is that we all
I
need
was
to pool our
pre-given this
resources.
information, so I'm a little less heartbroken because
That's
I've
so
digested
sad.
it.
I wanted to buy that game.
But
No,
we're
no,
gonna
no,
get
no,
more
no, no.
copies,
It's
though.
okay.
Okay.
It's just on its last printing
Right.
run.
Right.
So
But you
what's
were
out
saying
is
you
what's
even
out.
mentioned before that it was one of those things where it only like released like once a year.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a small company that makes it in general. I'm ordering dozens of copies of it.
I need one put aside.
You will be able to get one.
Same.
And this is where the PSA to our local listeners comes in. Even on
We do that
international
online
listeners,
stuff.
You could order it on their
Yeah.
website. We're getting in like 30 plus copies.
Cool. That's
Oh my gosh.
well. We can talk more about Subterra too, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Hold on.
That's also going to have the
What
same issue.
if? Oh, don't say that.
Wait,
What if?
Subterra
I'm
2 is
thinking.
gonna have
I'm
that
thinking
same
of ways
issue.
to make this
It'll
like
take a little
huge
longer for that
party
one to run
game,
out.
right?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
Still.
We could just
it's still on the same wagon.
put
Yeah.
all of our cards in like mark our cards so that they're distinguishable, and then you could just combine 2 Subterras to make it a huge
Huge Subterra game.
8-player
Oh,
game,
that'd be
10-player
cool.
game.
That'd be super rad.
That could be really cool if we just like combine tiles. Yeah.
Oh, why haven't we? All right,
120 tiles to go through.
Oh my! That game would last for well, maybe not with that many people. It'd
Yeah.
probably go because this game once you get going, it's just like zoom, 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 zoom.
Yeah.
You just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I was really bummed. One of the first things, so this week we've been having really bad windstorms
Oh,
here.
so bad.
Pretty much this whole week. Because it was Monday that I had everybody over for Pathfinder and our power went out.
Yeah.
One of my first thoughts once everybody left, and I was like, well, I guess we could play some board games or something, and talking with my family. One, I realized I super need to flesh out my simpler board games because I turned and was like, oh, I have Dark Souls, Horizon, Betrayal, and I was like, oh, all this requires a lot of light to actually play. I had wished that I'd had Subterra. Because it would have been perfect to play Subterra by candlelight. Would
Oh
have
my
been
God.
really
Oh.
fun.
We
My
actually
God.
ended up playing Subterra 2 by candlelight.
Really?
Yeah, it was-
Oh, that's dope.
We were like, we wanted to feel like a volcano in here, so we played volcano music from all of the Zelda games.
Oh my god!
And then we also had candles around the house.
Oh
and
my
We had
God.
a red light in our bedroom that we had opening up into our room. It was so fun.
Oh my god,
It
that
was very
sounds
hard
like
to see.
so much fun. I bet. One of my favorite RPG adjacent games is 10 Candles.
Okay.
And you play that one by you have 10 candles.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's what you play by, and each act of the game, a candle goes out, and then once the last candle goes out,
I've heard you talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
one. Yeah.
That game is so hard to play by candlelight because you're rolling dice to determine things. And so, like, gradually it just gets darker and darker. And you're like, I can't actually see what dice I'm rolling or what numbers I got.
That's when you bring out
That's why I
dice.
use my space laser die.
Oh, there you go.
That's glowing D6. I got it from a guy at Gamma. I just bummed him a smoke, and he was like, "Hey, stop by my stall. I'll hook you up fat." That's where I got those 2 dope pins: the skull pin and the Eldritch sign.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I got those guys from. I had also gotten a glow-in-the-dark dice from him. That actually helped me out a couple times living with you, George.
Oh, good.
I think we had our power go out because of windstorms once or twice, and I couldn't see to get out, but because I had set it on, like, the corner of my TV stand, I was like, well, my TV stand's about a foot from my door. I guess I can get out of my room.
I have multiple glow-in-the-dark dice sets, but they're the, like, ones that have the glow stuff, like, inside of them. And you still can't read them. They're just pretty and glowy cubes.
That was why I was kind of excited that he had done, like, just a standard glowing material. The letters are white, so it just blocks them out, but everything else is so bright and glowing that you just look for the dark spot now. But, yeah. I wish I could remember his company name. I feel so bad. Because they were really cool dice.
Nice. Subterra.
Subterra.
So, go ahead.
Do you want to talk? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say,
Do you want to talk about Subterra 2?
Sure. So, okay, so there's a lot of big differences in Subterra 2. I think in general, it's a little bit harder to play. There's just more going on. I mean, so the premise is different, obviously. So regular Subterra, you're down underground in a cave. Or I guess maybe not underground necessarily, but...
No, subterranean.
Yeah, true. So Subterra 2 takes place in a volcano, and the purpose is to get an artifact and get out successfully. But you have to get keys along the way, and you have to get 3 keys to get into the artifact. You get the artifact, and then you have to get out. And there's guardians instead of horrors, and the guardians are worse than the horrors.
Indiana Jones.
Basically.
in a volcano.
With, like, golem things attacking you.
I'm so here for this.
They look
That's
like...
sick.
Their little meeples look like almost like Spartan-like... warriors,
cute.
but anyway. And then there's also a difference to where, like, the opening tile in the regular Subterra is just, like, 1 tile. The opening in this game is, like, 2 tiles, and then there's, like, 2 tiles connected to the side of it that have 2 just automatic, like, generating spots for the guardians.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
So, like,
jeez.
And then there's the 2... Was there hazard dice in that game?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It was a deck of cards.
It was just deck of cards. So this one is hazard dice.
Okay.
So every single time that a person goes, they have to roll a hazard die.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
So it's not like a hazard round like Subterra 1 is. This one is more just like every single time anybody does anything, there's a hazard.
Oh, my gosh.
So that could be... And there's also... In the first game, there's a limit of 3 horrors. In this game, there's like 5 guardians, and they could be out at any time.
Oh, man.
And-
Oh, boy.
Yeah. There's a lot less...
They want them goodies.
There's a lot less... What are the roles that we did in that game, in the first game?
Just like, so
Scout.
1 through 3 was fail, 4 through 6 was success, but then it would be for a skill check?
Skill checks.
Yeah.
There's like none in this game.
Oh, okay.
There's like no skill checks. There's a lot of skill checks in the first one. There's like none in the second game. Characters are also obviously different. There's like a person with a gun. There's like
Monkey with a gun.
There's also like a blow up thing, but a blow up person or whatever. I can't remember what they're called because they're not listed.
Demolitionist.
Like a demolitionist?
At the same time you're playing, yes, sorry. At the same
Thanks,
time
Drew.
you're playing, there is a sheet that has 27-1, and then you have this little token on it. Every round or turn that you take, you move this little thing up, and when it gets to 0, the volcano erupts.
Oh, fun.
So you start... I think it's when...
Not fun.
Not fun. It sucks. We didn't even make it to that far in the game. Like, we sucked so much that we were dying, like, halfway through, like, the first part of the game.
So the characters in Subterra 1 only have 3 health, except if you're the bodyguard, they have 5. In
Yeah.
Subterra 2, they must have more health
Yeah,
than
so
that.
more of them have... I think it's still about 3 or 5.
Oh my god.
But there's a few of them. Let me see if I can find just, like, a sheet with all the characters listed
I was
here.
watching a video this morning about Subterra 2, and they were describing what, like, the Guardians do and what some of the rooms do in the hazards, and I'm like, oh my god, people would be dead immediately.
So
Immediately.
I think the healer, which is like one of the most important like people in the game, has 3.
Oh my god.
Same with the guide, which is this little kid who like basically can like reveal things quickly.
It is Indiana Jones.
It literally is. So the 3 is the
So that's
lowest,
short
and there's
round?
only 2 people
Yeah,
that have
No
3.
time for love, Dr.
And there's
Jones.
5. No, you're fine. And then there's 5 is like the general kind of what everybody else has.
Okay.
And then what they
I
call
hate
it, the veteran.
snakes, Jack. I hate them.
The veteran, who is basically like the bodyguard kind of, gets 7.
Oh, wow.
You mean
okay.
Indiana Jones?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, good.
But they all, like, similar to the first game, you get 2 turns per round, per turn, or 2 actions, I'm sorry. And then there's also certain things, like the priest, for example, in this game can take, like, his extra special things he can do, take 3. So he'd have to expend a turn to use any of his abilities.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, like, he is
weird.
cool and stuff, but, like, we played with, I think my boyfriend played him and the healer at one point while we were playing. And he can, like, basically revive people. Like, if they're downed, they just immediately come up. But that takes 3 actions to do. And
So
then
he has to exert himself like every single time. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Okay.
the exerting in this one is also different. You don't roll to see if you can pass the exertion. You immediately lose a health.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
So if, like, you're the healer and you're trying to exert yourself to heal someone else, like, you're going from 3 to 2.
wow.
That's rough. That's like
So-
really rough.
It's-
As everybody
I feel like-
checks theirs.
I feel like in general it is harder than Subterra, and I feel like Subterra is hard. But I think when the volcano erupts, if you roll a certain thing, like you have to turn your tile over and it's full of lava.
So, and it expands, like it hits every adjacent
I
tile
think so.
as it expands.
Yeah, we never got that far, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, like, what I think we got to, like, so, like, it's like 27 to 0. I think we got to, like, 5. And then
Damn.
we died. So, like, we never made it that far.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
the second game is really fun. There's just there's a more to it. There's also a character who has their own tile. There's an aristocrat character.
Yeah.
And they can, like, use 2 actions to just put out their own tile instead of, like, revealing another one from the back.
Is that so? And there's a bunch of like extra like items and things that person. Oh no, sorry, nope. I'm mixing. I'm crossing the streams.
I feel like there was a character in Subterra that had a similar ability where they could, at the beginning of the game, they could, like, pull a tile and just keep it aside.
The
And
geologist.
Oh.
yeah, and then if they decided, oh, I don't like that tile, they could just use
Use the
their
one that they
tile
have.
instead.
That's cool.
I was thinking of an expansion to Subterra 1, so I can save that after.
Okay.
And then, like, mine, I played the Scout in the first one, and I had the Pathfinder ability, which let me 3 times during the game, I could flip a tile and go, ew, I hate that, and
then
pull,
remove it.
and pull another one.
I mean, that's basically kind of what this one is, but instead of even just seeing... So another thing, too, is that instead of the tiles just being in stacks, they're in a bag. So you
Oh.
just pull from a bag.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Yeah. The only issue, the one tripe I had with the bag is too small. So, like, the tiles don't... Like, you can't, like, mix the tiles in the bag. You have to, like, shuffle them before you put them in the bag.
Just buy an Indiana Jones hat,
Yeah. Mary Poppins bag, yeah.
and just put all the tiles in the Indiana Jones hat.
We could.
Now I kind of wish that I knew where my mom bought 1 copy of Monopoly ever in her life, but bought the coolest edition, the Indiana Jones edition.
Amazing.
Oh,
It
love
comes in a wooden crate.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so cool.
like a Jumanji box kind of thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, like a straight up, like, more like the wooden crate that they wheel the arc back into.
Oh my god.
Like how it's got the, like, small gaps in between.
Oh,
It's filled
yeah.
with, like,
That's so
straw. I think it's just paper stuff, but it's filled with straw.
Okay.
And I kind of want to know where that is so that I could put my tiles in the crate.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Only reason I mentioned Jumanji is like I watched that last weekend.
I want to watch the new one.
It's so. I mean, the OG with Robin
Oh, you
Williams.
watched the OG? Oh,
I haven't ever seen the new ones.
I want to
don't
see the
care.
new one too.
No,
I don't.
I mean maybe
They're
sure,
fine.
Robin Williams.
They're fine.
but the OG is so
the
good.
OG of Jumanji is
And
like the best movie ever.
It's easy to forget that it's about a board game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so cool.
Anyways,
Anyways,
sorry.
no, you're good.
Oh,
This is a podcast about board games.
it's true. There are a few expansions to each of these games.
I call Bull.
The what?
I call Bull. I don't think it's real.
Oh,
There aren't expansions.
Yeah, you're just lying.
I'm lying.
damn.
I'm the
I
liar.
know you're lying. I know. I saw the expansion for this one. I almost bought it.
So there's Annihilation, Investigation, and Investigators. I can't. And
And then there's the minis in the book.
and then there's the minis, and then there's the book. I think the book only came in the deluxe version of the game, and I think I said after we played the game that I wish I could go back in time and buy the deluxe version of this game because that would
sure.
have been
What's the book?
amazing. It's like a. I think it's either. I think it's a comic book.
I think
I don't
it's a
about
graphic
Subterra.
novel.
I
cool.
think there's some note pages in the back for
Yeah.
like marking your victories and stuff like that.
Oh, cool,
So like you
okay.
could write what dates you escaped and stuff like
No,
that.
You just write down how many times you've lost the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the easiest thing to do.
I mean,
George.
I got a buddy who does that actually. He's got a book for every time he plays games, whether co-op
Hannah?
or
Did you realize,
Or,
though, that by uttering that, you've just made all of us
competitive.
and our listeners lose the game?
Oh.
no, because
not
none of
until
us
you
were
mentioned
thinking
it.
about it until you mentioned it.
I'm
Now
always
you're the
thinking
worst.
about it.
I
Anyways,
should have just kept having my conversation, and I wouldn't have noticed what you said.
I don't even notice what you said, so
Yeah,
yay.
shout out to my
Oh,
my
hey,
homie.
Chrissy doesn't know, so I'm not going to ruin her life.
Shout out to
Please
my
don't
homie
remember.
Ed, who has like, I think at this point, the last time I hung out with him, he had like 10 plus journals
Oh, man.
of every time he played games. He'd write everybody's names. If it was competitive, he'd like circle who won.
Mhm.
And if it was cooperative, he'd like put a star if we won or a check if we lost and stuff like that.
that's crazy.
And he's got years of that. And I've always wanted to do that. And I'm
Not
too
related
lazy
to
to do it.
Subterra. Me and my household have been playing a lot of Uno, and we've been doing that. We've been keeping
Nice.
track of every single time that we played Uno.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love a good Uno.
Anyway, Subterra's cool.
I really, really liked
I
this
really
game.
liked
Like,
this game.
game was amazing. I do think if you're interested in Subterra, I highly, highly recommend that you go and watch like a short Let's Play video before you crack the game open. There is a lot of like weird intricacies in it that I think it's easy to pick up, but having somebody explain it
Mm-hmm.
made jumping into playing it so much easier.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we would have been lost for a while reading through the rule book over and over and over
One thing I was
again.
going to mention about the second game is like so we did all watch a video before we played the first one. I had to watch a video to play this one too
Yeah.
because I feel like the one tripe I had with this rule book is it doesn't say enough.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of instances of like weird scenarios that could pop up that just like didn't make the game
Well,
make sense.
And there was a couple of things that I had noticed in the first one where it was explained in the video that I watched,
Mhm.
and then I was like, hey, I remember something about that in the video, but looking through the rule book,
just wasn't
it was
there?
not clear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, it was there, but it was worded so badly.
Or it's like in the back of the book because like
Yeah.
this book itself, I'm not sure what the first one's like. It's a lot of the first pages are just the game pieces,
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they get in the very back of the book is when they get to like gameplay.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
hard for me to decipher how to set it up and how to like do that without watching a video.
Gone are the days where reading the rulebook cold is the right way to go.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
watching videos for anything is so
Also,
smart.
Seriously.
you need a very large table to play this game.
You do.
A decently
Yeah.
sized one, yeah.
It sprawls
Mhm.
because, like, unlike Betrayal, I mean, Betrayal can sprawl also, but I feel like Betrayal's a little more condensed, depending on the game.
I'd say about the same table size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like ours just was like,
Well, the table
I
we
know
played on was
you.
tiny.
I know
We were.
you have a problem with rolling dice, so that's probably why yours feels like it takes less space. You're proccing your omen fast. For the rest of us who have average luck,
That's
we
fair.
get a little farther out.
way to kick me while I'm down, Drew.
just doing my part.
Just rub it in.
Just doing. I watched you roll stats a week ago. I don't want to hear it.
I love how I was like, I'm gonna go roll stats, and Squirt was like, wait, Drew, Hannah's rolling stats, and you were like, wait, I want to be there.
I watched you roll 1.5 stat blocks and was like, just go to point buy. I don't care. Just go.
He
Go
did.
do
I rolled 1.5 stat blocks, and he was like, no.
Just go do point buy. I'm
Just
done.
go do
I'm
point
not even gonna make
my
you do this
my rolls
anymore.
were so bad. I even tried using your dice, just being like, maybe my dice are just cursed, and then your dice were like moderately better than mine.
Yeah,
My entire point, like my entire stat block that I rolled the first time, the highest I got was an 11.
Oh my gosh,
Hannah.
Hannah.
Just 10,
yeah.
11, 9, 10, 10. Like, it was just
There was a
awful.
couple
person
8.
not
There was an
worth
8
adventuring.
and
There was an
7
8
in there.
Yeah, that person should not be adventuring. They should stay home.
No, they should absolutely
Yeah.
stay home.
Yeah.
No,
they are feeble.
I just turned and was like, do point buy.
I got like a 13 on the second stat block that I rolled, but that was
Everybody was having it rough with this one. Like, I didn't have that one guy who I'm like, great, I have to talk to Jeremy about how I need to nerf his character real quick because he
Wait.
has 4 18s. You know, I've had players roll 3 18s. I'm not letting
That's
I'm not letting that shit slide again. I'll give you bonuses for it. Like, I'll be like, okay, look, I'm going to take away 2 of those,
Yeah.
but I'll give you a bonus feat right now,
Yeah.
and I'll give you extra pocket change for your starting gear. I don't care.
What?
You're not having that.
What's wrong with the most mid-adventuring party you've ever seen?
Nothing. But so you know what? There is a problem with it. I'm worried I'm going to kill them.
Okay,
I already
well,
have
then,
a habit of
okay.
accidentally killing players, and this time I told them I was going to play smart. Because I have a lot of smart creatures on this island, so I'm going to be playing slightly smarter than normal.
So I just to get back to Subterra,
Yeah,
the
sorry.
point that I didn't want to miss. No, not to derail from that like dialogue, but the thing that made me laugh so hard was that like 5, maybe 10 minutes into playing this game, we were all so invested in what was going on.
So invested.
Like we were all just like tooth and whatever nail, like just like what we need to explore. We split the party. There, me and Drew and
Immediately.
Chrissy and Hannah went off kind of in their own directions.
I like went off on my own.
Oh, that's right,
And was
that's
just
right, that's right.
lost in the caves for a while, and then eventually, like, you guys went down, and I was like, I got to get back and help people.
I died like
Mhm.
immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah, like basically.
Yeah.
So fast.
Which you being the bodyguard was not a good
I
thing.
was trying to get back to you. I don't think George and I had discovered the wall that was on the other side of you, or else we could have had him blow a hole in that wall
Yeah.
to get
I think
right
I also,
to you.
when
but
I died, had like 3 horrors around me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Like,
was
that
the
was
other
awesome.
thing.
Yeah.
We were all like,
Yep.
good luck, bud.
Yeah, like, sorry you're
but
dead.
that's why we were able to get rid of them, was because George and I were making our way towards
Well,
that
that's
wall.
also when we figured out we weren't playing the game the right way.
That's
We had
fair.
forgotten an entire step.
Gotta exhaust.
So I'm gonna pull us back a little bit to just be like, we've talked a lot about how much we like the game,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna explain it just a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Just a little bit. Jump in, because I have goldfish brain
Okay.
and I'm not great about it. So basically, the premise is it's a pretty easy, straightforward how to play. You have a starting tile,
Mhm.
and then every round you go around the table. Everybody has an option to do an action, and you have a card of actions. 2 actions. You have a card of actions that you can do. The point of the game is to explore the explore the cave and escape. So flipping tiles and exploring is really the way that you want to be doing it to get through the huge stack of tiles that you have in front of you. But there's other things you can do, like blowing holes in walls, or healing if you get hurt, and tying ropes off to get up and down ledges and things like that.
Mhm.
And then after all the players have done their actions, you have the round where it's the
Hazard phase.
hazard phase, and you flip a hazard card, and bad things happen. Every time, bad
Yep.
things happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The caves can flood. You can have rock
Cave in.
slides,
Gas.
gas,
Cave-ins, yep.
tremors,
Mm-hmm.
and then the horrors.
Did the first game... Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Did
not
the
at
first
all.
game have the spikes?
No.
No.
Okay.
The
Those-
spikes and the arrow traps are strictly the Indiana
Oh my God,
Jones
those
sequel.
Suck. Anyway.
I like that it's just the Indiana Jones sequel now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the one that got me like the most, because I didn't have to worry about the horrors with my character, because I picked a character that was super sneaky.
Mhm.
But the thing that like set me on edge every single time was the stupid cave-in stuff.
Yep.
Because the cave-ins, the tiles that have the ability to cave-ins have little dice pips on them. And when you have a cave-in, you roll, and whatever tiles have those specific pips, it caves in. And if you're in an area with a cave-in, you pretty much immediately die.
Pretty much.
I mean, I think it's like,
Unless you're tip top.
yeah, unless you're, well, because it's 3.
Well, I think
I
even
was
that...
gonna say,
I thought it
other
was-
than the bodyguard, I think it's a flat.
I thought those were...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Is the cave in 3, or I thought it was 5?
3.
It's
It's
Is
3.
it 3?
It's 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
But-
can technically live through it. The rest of us
Sure.
And then anytime a horror crosses into your tile, unless you're my character, you die.
Mhm.
Immediately. Like
Yeah.
there's no
Right
like
there.
You get knocked out.
Yeah, the Guardians you can fight in the second game.
oh
So,
nice.
You can like hit them, but that's the only time I ever rolled like the skill checks.
Wow.
Mm. Okay.
Oh, that and like also the little cave-in, because
Yeah.
did they have cave-ins? They didn't have cave-ins. I think it's fire. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Anyway. So and then that's literally just the game. That's the game.
Mhm.
You just keep
Yep.
going back and forth around and around until you escape or
Die.
everybody dies or your flashlights go out and then everybody dies.
Because when your flashlights go out, every single round you roll a die to see if you survive.
Yep, and you have
And-
to get a
And that's
four
where the
or-
hot dog water monsters get you if you roll 1, 2, or 3.
Yep.
Oh man, hot dog water monsters. Hate it.
Me too. The minis look really cool,
They look
admittedly.
They look a lot better than the little like weird things.
I
that
mean,
they have in the game.
the little meeples that they have in the box are just the symbol for the horrors
Right,
as a meeple.
right.
Which, I don't know, it's kind of like fun being like, it's an indescribable monster.
Yeah.
It has no form.
Well,
and
that's
it's
why it
just-
also kind of makes sense that they just kill you when you see them, because then like at least you don't see what they look like.
Right.
Yeah, but then their minis kind of look squelchy.
Yeah.
Look, what?
Squelchy?
Squelchy?
Yeah. Like if you look at them, they look like they'd squelch.
They look like they're wet.
Okay, I didn't know where you were going with that. That's good. Okay.
Squelchy was like, I understood perfectly.
Katie decided that her character is slimy.
I hate that so much.
Oh
Can't
my
she just
God.
play a regular character for
Nope.
one
So
time?
I told her I was going to make her character squelch every now and then.
Ew.
I hate it.
Squelch.
I hate it.
You're welcome, listeners.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm uncomfortable.
This game is awesome.
Yes, this
No,
game
this
is
game
really
is
fun.
really, really fun.
Would recommend.
10 out of 10.
I think, like, even just playing the second game at home, like, my boyfriend was immediately like, this is a very cool game.
It's so much fun, and I love games with the tile strategy because no matter how many times you play, it's going to be different.
It's like messed up Carcassonne.
Yeah, really messed up Carcassonne.
Yep.
So it keeps it from being like super repetitive because it's always going to be
Well, and
different.
you can play different characters every time, too.
Yeah.
Which there are definitely strategies, but just play whatever character you want.
Just play whatever character. Play the scout. Avoid the
The
horrors.
bodyguard's also great. I think a lot of the characters are cool in their own way.
I really liked all of the characters. I love the diver. I thought that one was super
That one
cool
would've been
because
really
you can go
cool.
into any flooded cavern and pop up in another flooded cavern.
That's so cool.
It like you can just across the board. It's
That's pretty
so
dope.
cool.
Yep. We just need to play this game again. I
We
think
do.
that's
We
I that's I think the best recommendation we can give is that as soon as we were done playing this game the first time, we're like, damn, I want to play that game
Yeah,
again.
I would have played another round right away.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
If we had time, I would have been like, let's
Mhm.
just play another round. And the thing was, we had a little less than an hour to play because that's our
Mhm.
time limit for stuff. And none of us having played before, we were able to sit. We did watch a Let's Play video, but we were able to sit down,
Mhm.
set it up, and play almost an entire full game. We did have to abandon, I think, the last like 20 times.
Hey,
It
I
really
think
wasn't that many.
It wasn't too many,
wasn't
honestly.
that many. But we hit our time, and we were like, we want to finish the game, so let's just put these aside.
Well, the funny thing is we were playing easy mode and hard mode at the same time. Like, because we did cut some of the tiles out, but we also were ignoring some of the aspects of the game that make it a lot easier for, like, the first half of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, at that point, learn from our mistakes.
Learn
Yeah.
from our mistakes. Exert
Do
your
all the
character.
things, yeah.
Risk your life
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
That's the fun of this
risking
game, though,
your
is
life.
like,
Because
that's
if you
the point.
don't, you're going to die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you have to do it. Like
Yeah.
exerting is a huge part of this game, and if I don't, I think if like again, if we had been doing it in the first half, we maybe would have had more people live. Like
I think so. I think if we
Maybe,
had
yeah.
been exerting from the very beginning,
Mhm.
we would have gotten through the pile faster, like actually gone through all of the tiles.
Yeah.
And also, I think more of us could have lived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
at least one more person probably.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe.
Who would we pick? Would it be George or Drew?
well, they were going.
George was the last one alive.
George was the last one alive.
Right after the lights went out, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
But also, like, they were traveling together. So,
Mhm.
like, potentially they both could have survived.
Sure.
We did manage to split the party. We didn't manage to put it back together again.
No, we
Again, this game,
did
though,
try.
You kind of have to, again, in order to expand the cave. You have to split the party a little.
Yeah, at some
Right,
point you
right,
do. Like,
right.
everybody does have to kind of explore a little bit
Mhm.
on their own.
It felt wrong, but it was needed.
It felt so wrong.
I hated it as,
I was-
as soon as we started doing it.
I was like all the way down on the other end of the board, like just in a little area, and I was just like, I am all by myself.
I don't know if we mentioned. I think we mentioned it very briefly, but like the ledges and the landslides and stuff are ones that you can get stuck in and you can't turn back unless
Yeah.
you like take 2 turns to like
Tie a
do
rope
something.
and climb.
Yeah,
And you have
are
to tie
stuck.
the rope successfully because
Yeah.
you can take an action. It takes your entire 2 actions to create a rope to climb.
Mhm. and then you have to.
But
use
you
your
have
next
to.
action
But
get
you
out.
also have to roll
Mhm.
to make sure that you successfully tied the rope.
Yeah.
And you can
Yep.
fail. And if you fail, then you just have to spend the next turn doing it and the next turn doing it
Yeah.
until you
instead of revealing cards, which is like the only
right.
Or you can give up on it and go reveal cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's what I did. I came to my first go back and I was like, I'll let them make the rope on the way here. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Good game, would recommend.
Good game. Would recommend.
I feel like this is definitely like a new favorite of some of ours.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
This was a really good one.
I'm going to buy a copy when we get them back in.
I'm
Like,
thinking borderline of buying the expansion too.
I'm trying not to go downstairs and buy the Colt Express game right now.
Oh, Colt
As
Express.
much as I really
Yeah.
love this one, Colt Express still hasn't gotten out. I'm like, I really want that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've picked some good games so far this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't know that we've decided on what we're doing next.
Ooh, we haven't.
I think George and I talked about the next one that we might do, but I don't know if he remembers. So I guess we'll save that one. In
We'll
the
save
quiver
that
and
one.
Leave it
that
for
one.
a surprise on everybody next time.
It'll be a surprise for next month.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. With that, we'll open our cabinet back up, shove in our box, tell those horrors to leave us alone, close it up. We'll get you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
You've been listening to the Game Cabinet at the AU Radio Podcast Network. If you're interested in any of the titles from today's episode, you can check out the link tree in the description to visit Adventures Underground at their online store to browse the selections or inquire about special orders. If you'd like to contact the show, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just check out that link tree in the description. Or you can email the show at podcast@advunderground.com. You can also support this show and all the awesome shows on AU Radio that you love by becoming a patron of the AU Radio Podcast Network. You can find us at patreon.com/ADVUnderground. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us continue to create these shows, and soon, many more.
You've been listening to the AU Radio Podcast Network. Music is provided by CubbyPurplePlanet.com and BenSound.com. Views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Adventures Underground. AU Radio is a production of Adventures Underground. Copyright 2018. All rights reserved.